Don't feel like you need to. Oh gosh, hang on. No, it's a brilliant video. It's a brilliant video. I make ghee too sometimes when I need to. It's a brilliant product, and strangely the supermarkets don't really tend to stock it a lot over here at least. But we'll get onto that later. Hello, Ace. Hello, my love. Thank you for putting that link up for Kirsty. How are you, Ace? How are you, Kirsty? Hello, Amanda. How wonderful to see you. Hello, Joy. Wonderful to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are we all, my friends? How are you, Joy? Don't mind me. I'm just getting my boots on. A little bit disorganized this morning. I slept in. I hardly ever sleep in. But I think because the days are getting shorter and the nights, well, no, not the nights, but the mornings are darker now. And my cats don't wake up. They're not waking up. Usually they start getting me up between 5 and 5:30. And now they're not getting me up till 6:30. And it's actually been quite nice, with the darker mornings. The cats haven't cottoned on, and they just don't get up as early, which means they don't try and wake me. There's none of this stuff, which is what they tend to do. As soon as the cats wake up, they think that everyone else has to wake up as well. But yeah, it's sort of good, but at the same time, it's really disconcerting because I sort of wake up and I think, oh my God, I should have got up an hour ago. Anyway, that's okay. That's okay. So what is everyone there? I saw Joy had something to say there. Oh, and Marichub's here. Hello, Marichub. Lovely to see you. I hope everything is well with you and your family there in the Philippines. Marichub says, good morning, ma'am, Susan. Good morning, Marichub. Kirsty says, lol, they had hard nights, Susan, yes. And Joy says, I am great. Oh, you started some gardening. How exciting, Joy. What are you doing? What are you doing in the garden? Tell me. We all want to know. What's up, Susan? Hello, Craig. Welcome in, my friend. How are you? Oh, got an itch. I've got an itch. But apart from the fact that I've got an itch, I'm doing well. But I hope you're well also, Craig. What have you been up to? Marichub is saying, I'm done. Oh, yes. Here's store duty with my coffee. Yes. The coffee is very important. I've had my coffee this morning. Amanda is saying, that is awesome, Joy. It is. Oh, goodness. I had Kevin, who normally comes up on a Friday, didn't come up last Friday because we're back. All right. At least Hello. All right. Are we still here, folks? I did get into the chat and said that I would be restarting, but I worked out how to restart this one. Toyo, hello, my friend. Welcome in. I don't know why my phone did that. It did that the other day too. I was like 2 or 3 minutes into my live, and like you can see, I'm not touching it, and it just stops. And like I've got it plugged into the battery pack and everything. So the phone's on 100%, my battery pack's on 100%, and I'm sitting here chatting and it just sort of switches off. I think, what the hell? Anyway, it looked like it was saying, you were saying raise the roof. I was saying something. I was talking about Kevin and how he came up yesterday and we were doing all this gardening. And behind my garage here, I've got two 20,000 litre water tanks, and in front of them were four very large butterfly bushes. And like every year, I prune these butterfly bushes right down to the ground, and then within like 4 months, they're like 4 meters high, and they're draping over the tanks and whatnot. And they just take so much work. They grow so prolifically that I can't keep up with the pruning. So we took a chainsaw to them, all of them, just, and that took quite a few hours because they were big, you know, even at the base, big plants. And they were like 4 meters tall. And then you got to drag these branches through the garden, out into the paddock where we built a big bonfire pole. Just don't mind me, I'm doing up my boots. So yeah, I was absolutely exhausted though. Hey Dora, welcome in. Hello Glenn. Oh, poor Ace, she's probably looking to see if I started another live. Are you here, Ace? Dora's saying, I knew you'd be here, Kirsty, you're a trooper. Hello, welcome in, my friends. We just had a little hiccup. For some reason, my live ended all by itself, like it did last Saturday, and I got into the chat and said, oh my God, I'm going to have to start another one. But we've actually managed to get this one to resume, so I'm here. Oh, Merichub says, sorry, my connection is slow. That's okay, love. That's okay. It's lovely of you to be here. And we've got a few thumbs up already, which is nice to see. We've got 10 thumbs up. Thank you very much for that, folks. So, what can I tell you? Yes, so I did all this gardening yesterday. But today, it is our Tuesday, because it's Tuesday here in the Alpine region of Victoria, Australia. It is about 9:45 on Tuesday morning. Hang on, what did Dora say there? Let me just check. I'm not really here today. I have to work. Oh, that's okay, love. I really appreciate you being here. Hey, Connor Burke, you've come back in. Welcome. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Second time you've been in one of my lives, I think. It's lovely to have you. Kirsty says there have been a few updates on YouTube. Yes. I had noticed that there had been some changes, but I haven't actually looked into what they are yet, so hopefully they'll be good ones. Hey, Paula, welcome in. How are you, Paula? And how are you, Connor? How are you both? Amanda says, did you get a playlist, buddy, Kirsty? What's the changes, Kirsty? Amanda Maddies? Hang on. Amanda Maddles. Welcome in, my love. You've come in from driving daily. Oh, has he sent people over again? He's such a good boy. Hey, Heather from Iowa. Welcome in, my friend. Lovely to see you here. It is Tuesday morning here in Australia, and we're going to be heading off shortly to do our little farm walk and talk. Heart. I thought you were saying awesome hairy. And I'm thinking, what? Oh dear. Paula says she's cool. Well, that's good. John Mafiarade. Who said that? I'm too frightened to touch my phone. Toyo. It was Amanda that mentioned the changes. Okay. So how are we, everyone? So yes, yesterday I did all this gardening. Hello, Shaz. Welcome in, my friend. I might take you to see the garden, but you got to understand that it's a hell of a mess now. we sort of did all this pruning, and I dragged lots of stuff out. Get my fringe here. Dragged lots of stuff out into the paddock so we could burn some. But a lot of it's still there, and it just looks like, ugh. Oh, you love my hat? I love beanies. And it's like it's always quite cold up here, well, except in the height of summer. And I find now that I'm getting older, I seem to get earache a lot more. So I like to cover my ears. But thank you. I love the beanie too. Mess is progress. Hell of a mess, says Amanda. Yes, it's a hell of a mess. But let us wander and see what we can see. Now, we might go down to the stockyard as well, because I have made a decision, because next week we've got, you're welcome, says Paula. Next week we've got more rain coming, and you know that really big bonfire pole down at the stockyard? Well, I want to set fire to that later this week if I can. So I will be doing that. You know my Thursday lives that I do every second Thursday, and it's called In the Garden. So burning a bonfire technically isn't in the garden, but it sort of is in the garden. So as long as it's not like super windy on Thursday afternoon, we're going to set fire to this thing before the next lot of rain comes. And I don't know how that will go as a live. Hopefully we won't set fire to anything other than the bonfire pole. But it is a huge bonfire pole. Like, it's 2 or 3 meters high, and it's probably about 8 meters long and wide. It's massive. It's massive. So weather permitting, we will be burning that on Thursday in my usual In the Garden time slot. And I might even walk back down in the evening and sit there when it's dark, and we can just sort of sit there and do something a bit like what Steve from High Plains Camper would do, and sit there with a cuppa, toast a marshmallow, lots of stars, maybe a moon, and what's left of the bonfire. So I might end up doing 2 lives on Thursday. Who knows? We're just going to wing it, folks. We're just going to wing it. Whoa, leaves are falling on me. Yes, that's right, Joy. He's much improved now. He still has trouble bending down, like if he wants to bend down to pick something up. But he's there for moral support, because it's such a big bonfire. I'm a little bit nervous about setting fire to it, whereas Kevin back in the day used to help. He worked for the forestry, so he was, a lot of clearing tracks and things like that, but they also help fight fires. And so he's a lot more comfortable with big fires than I am. So I would feel a lot more comfortable if ever I'm lighting a fire that's that big. And this one is one of the bigger ones. Like last year's big bonfire was pretty big as well, but I feel more comfortable if he's there. Psychological. But yes, so we're going to sit there and burn this bonfire, and then in the evening after he has gone home, we'll probably come back down, me and my daughter, and we're going to sit there and toast marshmallows and watch the sunset, I suppose. Do it after a rain, maybe. We had a lot of rain last weekend, but it's such a big bonfire that if it rains, I don't think it would burn. I don't think it would catch. Yeah. And I mean, we've got like backpacks with water and stuff there, so we have water available if things go wrong. So I think it's always wise to have stuff around you, so if it does get slightly out of hand, you're able to deal with it better. But like I said, because it is a big bonfire, if it ends up being super windy on Thursday afternoon, it's not going to happen. I would not feel at all comfortable with lighting it up, but we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So let me catch up with the live, with the chat. Oh, hello, Miss M. Oh, riding lessons. How exciting. No, that's absolutely okay. I hope you had a good time with your riding lessons. Yes, it's wise to have Kevin's input. Oh, he will be thrilled to hear that, you know. I'll write to him this afternoon and let him know. Hello, nerds, says Jason. Welcome in, my friend. Miss M said she had fun. That's good. I used to love riding horses. Oh, yes, we always do. Here in Australia, or at least in Victoria, I don't know about the rest of Australia, but I would have to assume so. We have the Victorian Fire Authority, and you can do this thing called book a burn. And so if you're doing a book a burn, you ring them up and you say, I'm going to have a fire. This is the address. They work out where your nearest crossroads and things like that are, so they can find you quickly if they have to. They ask the size of the fire. They ask how long you anticipate that it's going to be burning for, and then they mark it on their website. And so that way, if other people nearby see smoke and they ring the country fire authority going, oh my God, we think there's a fire somewhere nearby, the fire authority can look on their website and say, no, that's okay, you can relax, that's actually an organized burn, that's not a wildfire, that's someone having a burn off, and everyone can go, oh, that's okay then. So yes, and I always do the book a burn. I know some people don't. Some people say, oh, you don't have to. And look, it's probably true, you don't have to. It's recommended that you book a burn. But I also feel that, you know, especially here in the rural areas, our fire authorities, our firefighters, are all volunteers. And these are volunteers who actually have paid jobs doing other things in Mansfield, you know, and so they're in Mansfield doing their paid job. They think there's a fire. They have to leave work. They have to drive all the way back to the district. They've got to get the tanker. They've got to get ready. Then they drive to your house only to find that it was actually just you having a bonfire. And I do think that that's, I don't know, I think it's very inconsiderate and very, it's sort of disrespectful, you know. I mean, these people volunteer their time and their lives to help keep us all safe. And I think it's the least we can do is to notify them and let them know so that they don't end up having to take, you know, 4 hours out of their day to drive all the way back to the fire station and get ready and then go out to you only to find it was a false alarm. And then by the time they turn around, take the tanker back, get back out of their uniforms, get back to work, 2 or 3 hours has passed. And I think that's a horrible thing to do to people who are volunteers, because they lose money when they leave work to come out and fight a fire, and then if it's not even a fire in the first place. So yeah, anyway, that's my rant about the CFA, which is the Country Fire Authority, and booking burns. Let me catch up, because I did say I was going to catch up with the chat. Everyone's saying hello. Everyone's saying hello. Hi, Miss M. Miss M had fun. Let me just scroll, trying all the time not to disconnect the... Oh, thank you. Kirsty says Susan looks lovely. Thank you, honey. I do appreciate that. Oh, Emily! M-Bug is in the house. Hello, Emily. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're just having a little bit of a chat before we do our walk around. How are you, Emily? How was your shift at work the other night? Did you have a good shift? M is saying, hello, hearts humble. M says, thank you, Susan. Thank you, M. Good to see you here. Wow, it's getting windy now, though. Doing good. My shifts have been well. I'm really pleased to hear that, Emily. Oh, poor Ace isn't here. She's probably still waiting for me to restart the other live. Oh, poor Ace. You're not here, are you, Ace? Say hello to me if you're here. Just a thumbs up. I'm so stressed that she's not there. Ah, I hope Ace is here. No, Ace was here earlier, Em, and for some reason my live dropped out, and I ran inside to the house and got on the. Oh, you are. Thank goodness. I'm so relieved. Yeah, because I ran in and got on my laptop and said, I'll start another stream. And then when I came back outside and played with my phone, I managed to restart this one. And I thought poor Ace was still sitting there waiting for me to start another stream. So I'm so relieved. Well, my friends, I think it's time that we actually start this little walk around. What do you reckon? Yay! Glad you're here, dear. Everyone's so glad to see that Ace is here too. All right, shall we walk? Shall we walk? Get this chair out of the way. Get myself all organized. Of course, I do have to put my battery pack in my pocket. Pop it in there. All right. Let us walk. Oh, have I got my glasses? Yes, I do. They're on my head. Of course they are. Of course they are. M-Bug says, yes, as we say here in the States. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Walkie-talkie. It almost is, you know. I'm in till the end, as always, y'all, says Ace. Thank you so much. Oh, my phone feels a bit wobbly in the tripod. So I better be careful that it doesn't fall out. We don't want it to fall out. Oh, let me show you the smoke bush. Looking nice and red there. We've got a little bit of autumn colour coming in. Oh, that's all right, Marichub. You do what you need to do, my love. There's the lovely weeping cherry. There's some cows waiting over there. But we do always start off with the chickens. All right. And I'm going to show you all this mess that I made. And, you know, it's going to be get a lot messier before it gets nicer, basically. Hello, girls. We'll be with you in a moment. There you go, M-Bug, just showing you the cows before we go do the chickens. All right. Let us go. Let us go. Ooh. Oh, what a pretty bird. That sounds like a silver grey strike thrush. We got a bit of autumn colour. There's the maple, which is called Festival. All right, let us go in here. It's not the best autumn display this year because the seasons have been so confusing. First it's hot and then it's cold and then it's hot and then it's cold. Yes, I hear you, birdies. Now I am going to turn you to look out the door momentarily. Okies Eden says, I told my friend 10 jokes to make him laugh. Oh, sadly, no pun in 10. All right, so I'm just going to feed them and then, because I need 2 hands for that, so I'll do that and then we'll go in there and watch them eat. moo. All right, so we need this one. Moo, moo, moo. So I've got my fermented grains. All right, my children. There's a lot of mooing going on. All right. So I'm putting my battery pack back in my pocket. There we go. Do that. Do that. And now we can head into the chicken coop. Hello, children. All right, let's go over this way. Whoop! I slipped. It's a little bit muddy after all the rain we had on the weekend. Where can I stand where you can see them? There we go. That's all that's left of my big flock of chickens. And I don't dare let them free range at the moment, not until we've managed to catch that fox. So I let the chickens out and a fox came in and he got all my roosters and 5 or 6 of my hens, and only these 5 survived. And they're all the geriatrics of the group, so none of them are egg-laying hens. Ari! Is Ari here? Let me just check. Oh, Mike's Adventure Sparks is here. Aries World, hello, love. Welcome in. I know. It was such a shame. Oh, Aries World says, I can't stay too long and chat because I have to go to volleyball, but I will keep you on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. It's going to be really close, you know. I reckon by the end of the month, I wanted to try and get my 3,000 watch hours in the month of May. And the way I'm tracking, I reckon I'm going to be about 2,850. So I might just have to do an extra live just to get me there in May. So, you know, I appreciate you keeping it on. That would be great. The chickens are looking for a lover. They need a man. Yeah, they do. They do. Fiesta here in our borough is coming this 26th. Okay. Not far off at all. Ooh. No, not far off at all. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, but I'm looking forward to getting to the 3,000. I will watch some watch hours for you. Oh, thank you. I want to take on your wool tour. Yes. That was a good video. I liked that video. It was something a little bit different. And there's another wool tour coming up in a few months, and I'm going to do that as a video as well. And also, they're doing later in the year, the Mansfield Historical Society are doing a Ned Kelly tour. Now, Ned Kelly was a infamous bushranger in this district. He probably even rode through this property. There's a property only a few doors from me where there's like a shelter where he supposedly stayed. So Ned Kelly is a very well-known Victorian Australian bushranger. So when the Mansfield Historical Society do the Ned Kelly tour, it's an all-day tour. You start going to all his favorite haunts. You go to the spot where his last stand was. I think you end up going to the courthouse where he was sentenced to death. And then I think the tour ends up at the cemetery. So it's going to be a big day and quite an interesting video too, I think. So yeah, there's going to be some good videos coming up, but my next long form is a video called Remembering Summer, because I didn't actually manage to get the summer video out during summer. And that will be out, well, look, hopefully this coming weekend, but we'll see. If it's not this weekend, it'll definitely be the one after. I'm so close to having it finished. It's just whether or not I have the time. Hey, Tim, welcome in. Tim Mitchell is in the house. Amanda is asking, hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, no, rewatching videos does count. Yes, it does, because I looked that up once. Yes, it does. Yeah, the chat really does help. And also, I believe like sending up, I know when like I'm watching other people's lives, you can send up like hearts and different things. What do you call them? Emoticons. I've probably butchered that word. I'm only guessing how that's how you say it, but I think the more hearts and things you can send up, that really helps as well. I'm not sure how. I think it just shows that people are interacting. So even when there isn't a lot of movement in the chat, if people are sending up these emoticons, I think that helps. I don't see them when I'm actually doing a live on my phone. I see them when I'm watching other people's lives on my laptop, but you don't see them on your mobile device when you're live streaming. So there we go. There's what's left of my girls. I'm going to be getting some more girls and boys in the spring. Amanda says, cool. I mean, who are they to say if I want to watch? Yeah, well, that's right. And I mean, sometimes I will watch say a video of a channel and they've got a recipe that I want to make. So I'll watch it and think, I really like that video. I want to make this thing. So I'll save it. And then a few weeks later, I'll watch it again and go, yeah, I wanted to make this thing. So I'll watch it, make sure I've got all the ingredients right. And then I'll watch it the next day and think, all right, now now I've actually got all the ingredients. How do I make this thing? You know, so depending on what the video is, you do need to rewatch them several times, especially if you're trying to get instruction from that video. So, and I think YouTube understand that. So when you rewatch a video, it certainly does count. Why are you trying to eat my boots? They're not at all edible. They're not. No, they're not. Chef Civi, welcome in, my friend. Marichub. Oh, thank you, Joy. That's beautiful, ma'am. Same time, same here. I'm not entirely sure what you're asking me, Marichub, with my video. If I can get it done in time, I'll probably upload it my Sunday morning, which would be your Saturday. In the Northern Hemisphere, it would be Saturday evening, but we'll see how we go. Hello. How are you, Chef Civi? I really liked your shrimp tacos because I love tacos and I love shrimp. Oh my goodness me, it's so muddy. Yeah, they are. That's the fermented grains that I do that they're eating. Saves a lot of money fermenting their food. I'm well. I'm really well. Thank you for asking. It is a lovely Tuesday morning. All right. Yes, it's a lovely Tuesday morning here in Australia. No, you're not coming out. Can't believe they even want to come out with a fox hanging around. Blonde traveling gypsy, welcome in, my friend. How lovely to see you. I hope you had a lovely Mother's Day. Trophy, good morning, good morning. Did you have a lovely Mother's Day, Blonde? And all of you in the chat who are mothers, did you all have a lovely Mother's Day? I didn't mean to forget the rest of you. I hope you all had a lovely Mother's Day for those of you who are mothers. There's the woodshed. There's some cows. Oh, you did. That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. I didn't do a great deal. I had a very quiet day. Traveling Gypsy says, I will be listening while driving. That is quite all right, my love. You drive carefully. Oh, hang on. Before we go out there, I was going to show you all this gardening and pruning I did yesterday. Oh, the cows are saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're about to come out, and now you're not coming out. Let's have a look at all this stuff I did yesterday. Oh, yes, yes. No, I met Lynx View a few months ago. He's in New Zealand, and you probably met him on my live, did you, Amanda? Because he's been into my live a few times. Is he here? I haven't seen him come in. But if you are here, Lynx View, welcome. Yes, he's got 6 acres in New Zealand. And seems like a lovely chap. He does nice little lives. But let us go and have a look at this incredible mess. Now, don't assume it's going to be pretty. What we're about to look at isn't going to be at all pretty. So, we're going to walk under the archway. We haven't been through this gate before on a live. There's some more pretty autumn leaves. That's the snowball bush, I think. Tim. Oh, you met him on Tuber Chat. Did you? Huh. Everyone's saying hello. New territory, guys. Yes, yes, it is. It's new territory. So let me just bring you back out here. So we have this little archway. We're under an archway at the moment. And then we come through the archway. And we've got a falling apart little bird house thingy. Needs a new roof. And then we have an old hut here. Lovely little building. You say that now. This is meant to be the potting shed. Look at it. This is the potting shed. I'm just making sure there's no snakes in here before I come in. So yes, it's where I keep all my pots. It's not very exciting, and there's actually a table under here, which is theoretically where you're supposed to do all your potting, but it's just ended up being a home for more pots because you can never have too many pots, apparently. Although having said all that, looks quite pretty. That'd make a nice photograph, wouldn't it? Might have to think about that, do a good thumbnail. Having said all that, though, I do think that we're getting to the point where we are, in fact, getting too many pots. It's great to have pots, you know, but when you can't actually get into the potting shed because you have too many pots, well, then that becomes a problem. Chef Civvy says, lol, Emily, where are you? Have we met? I'm sure you've met Emily before. All right, so ignore the mess. Ignore the mess. This is my clothesline. Just a good old-fashioned clothesline. There's a big overgrown hedge. That big overgrown hedge was only trimmed like 3 months ago. And these are the other 2 water tanks. And that there used to be a butterfly bush. And then there's another base of a butterfly bush there. And then under this big pile of prunings is another butterfly bush. So we've got all the plumbing. It comes off the roof and it feeds into this 20,000 litre water tank. Now, the reason the tank is so dirty is because it's been sheltered by these plants for such a long time. Yes, it's a lot of storage. And then you can't even see it, but down there is a pipe that connects this tank to that tank. So this tank here is not connected to the roof in any way. It's a totally sealed tank. The only way that fills up is because it gets fed by this one. So there's a pipe that joins it. It runs along the ground and it links that one to this one. But I mean, look at the top of it. I've been trying to get this, that's another arch. And there is this huge, believe it or not, that was pruned 2 years ago. The arch, the top of the arch is sitting about here. And it just goes up and up and up and up and up, and then grows over the tank. So yesterday I got up on a ladder and cleared this top part of the tank, so that then will make room for me. So what I'll need to do is actually get on the roof of that tank and cut everything off. But that's like 12 months growth. And I really think I'm going to have to get rid of it because I can't have it doing that every 12 months. I pruned it and it seemed to enjoy the prune so much that it like instantly quadrupled in height and everything. And so, yeah. And I'm sick of pruning, you know, so that's why I got rid of these butterfly bushes. Because every year, you know, I've got to prune them away from the tanks. It was just getting too hard. That, I believe, is, I think they call it a Banksia rose. Has little yellow flowers, beautiful perfume. And there is also a jasmine in there. So that is actually 2 vines, not 1 vine. Hello, Reese. Welcome in. Ruby from Rushing Wind Mountain. Welcome in. How are we both? Michelle. Hello, my love. Welcome in. So, yes, we're just looking at all this pruning we did yesterday. So, this is part of the garden you don't see very often because it's such a mess. And keep walking here. We'll walk under this pergola thingy. Ugh. And we got a big pile of stuff here. This here is all the stuff that was actually underneath the archway. Whoop. Trying very hard not to fall over because it's very slippery. Yes, there's another building there. I'm thinking about turning that into another chicken coop, actually. And then we come along here. And then we're back to the chicken coop. That's where I came out of the chicken coop, see? So we've basically walked along the front of the garage and then come around the back of the garage. Michelle says, I just subscribed to Rushing. You won't regret it. They have an awesome channel. Awesome channel. Now let me show you all of this. Oh, this is a hazelnut bush. That isn't what I was going to show you. Oh, dear me. We left the gate open overnight. Man, I could have had a backyard full of sheep. How lucky was that? All right. I'll shut the gate this time. All right, so all this here are the prunings from the butterfly bushes. So I had to drag them through that little part that we just walked, which was quite difficult because not only are they quite heavy, but there wasn't a lot of room for dragging. I was having to drag them around other plants. So I'll probably burn this one in a week or two, let them dry out a bit. You can see how long they were. I mean, that's like 1, 2, those branches are probably about 4 meters long. Hey, Lucy Warren. Hello, Lucy Warren. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Well, I've been onto a couple of your lives. I've watched them on the television. Lucy does tarot. So if you're into tarot, you must go and check out Lucy's channel. How are you, Lucy? So yes, this is the new bonfire pole. I've been off a while, but getting back to it. Well, I hope you enjoyed having your break. I hope it was an enjoyable break and not a I'm burnt out type of break. I hope you're well. I'm glad. I'm glad. So yeah, this is all the prunings in those 3 bushes. Huge, but yeah, they were. And I've still got 2 more to get rid of in a different parts of the property. Yes. I used to read tarot. I was very good at it too. Ooh, tarot. I used to have, I had another Facebook page years ago, but then I got locked out of my own page, and it was called the Smoky Cauldron. There you go. This is something new for you all. And yeah, I used to read at festivals and things too. I don't have time. I do the occasional thing for people, but this area here, we call it the pig paddock because it's so rough. Not because we have pigs, but because it's just a very rough area. And I joke that it's only suitable for pigs. So that's the pig paddock. And then we're going to come in here. We're still going in to see the cows. They're just going a slightly different angle. It's one of the barns. Got a gate here. That's the milk stanchion for when I milk Dot, which hasn't happened for a while because I let her dry out because she was supposed to have a calf and then she didn't actually end up having a calf. So let us, oh no, maybe I will go a different way. They associate this way with food. So they've decided now that I'm going to feed them treats. And they get very excited when they think you're going to feed them treats. Hello, girls and boys. No, I don't have any. No, I don't. Another barn. I know, they're everywhere. So see, today you've seen a barn and you've seen my potting shed. So you've seen 2 more buildings that you didn't even know I had. This place is full of buildings. It is wonderful here. Oh, thank you, Kirsty. You just got home from New York. Oh, just got home from New York. Okay, Michelle, I'm glad you got home safely. I hope you had a wonderful time in New York too. They want treats, I know. Maybe I'll get them some treats later in the week. When Kevin comes up later in the week, I might get him to pick up a bag of day-old bread from the bakery. That's right, day-old bread. That's the stuff. And that's what they like. Hi, Moo Moo, my Moo Moo friend, says Michelle. Can I pet them? I can. The problem is that, especially when I'm doing a live, because they tend to jostle you a lot and push you around. And sometimes they try and eat my clothes. And they're very interested because I'm holding a tripod with a phone, and they think, oh, what is that she's holding? Is it something we can eat? And so they all come up because they want to see what I'm holding and they want to see if it's edible. And of course, the only way they can find out if it's edible is to try eating it. And I've had a few instances where they've actually tried to eat my phone. And the cable that I'm using to attach my phone to the battery pack is quite short. I need to get a longer one. And the reason it is so short is because I was doing a live and they ate the longer cable. One of the cows, and I think it was Thunderhoof, because, you know, it always is Thunderhoof. Thunderhoof wanted to know whether the phone and the cable was edible, and so she took a bite of the cable. And I keep forgetting that I need to order another one. All right, so we're going a slightly different way. We're doing everything backwards today. Here's the veggie garden space. And where that swing set frame is where I'll put a greenhouse. Hopefully it'll be a little bit bigger than that, but later this week, I think Kevin is bringing up a rotary hoe, so we can start putting in some of the in-ground beds. Ultimately, I want this space to have raised garden beds, but they cost money, so they'll happen when they'll happen. There are the sheepies. Ginger nuts. Hello, Neil. Oh, what's Chef Civvy talking about there? Indiana Funny Farm. Hello, my love. Welcome in. Foraging sent me, I feel like Dorothy. I don't know what channel I flew over to. Well, thank you for being here, Indiana Funny Farm. My name is Susan. Hello, Indiana, says Amanda. I knew you'd love it here. Hello, Neil. Welcome in. Lucy Warren says, oh, wow, Chef Sivi is a tarot card reader. I say you can never have too many decks. No, it's true. I've got so many. In fact, Lucy Warren, question for you. Have you ever used, and it's not technically tarot, but a few years ago, I got a set of cards. They're round, and they were called tea leaf cards. Did you ever get them? Did you try them? What do you think? So the idea was someone who does a lot of tea leaf readings did a set of cards using the more common things that you would find in a teacup, and so the cards are actually round. Chef Sivi says, sometimes a deck you're drawn to suddenly no longer seems appealing and it's best to gift it to someone who is drawn to it. Yeah. When I used to do tarot readings, I used to work, I used to moonlight at a shop, and I used to do like a day a week. I'd do a Saturday doing tarot readings, and I used to have all my decks laid out on, so there was the table where I actually did the readings, and then there would be a table next to us, and I would get the person I was reading for to pick the deck that they wanted me to use. Because different people resonate differently to different cards. And so I felt that it was important for clients, people I was reading for, to be able to choose their own deck. And then I would read using the deck that they picked out. Look at that lovely view. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah, that's right, Amanda. And like some decks are very traditional. Like the most traditional deck, I suppose, is the Rider-Waite deck. And many of the artists that create new decks may use imagery from the Rider-Waite deck, but in different art styles. Hello, Peter. How are you, Peter? Peter is Old Man King Homestead. Welcome in. We're doing everything in a slightly different order today. But then there's other artists that use totally different imagery and quite modern imagery. And some people, some clients resonate more with the traditional styles and the nostalgic styles. And then other people resonate more with something that's quite modern. Oh, look at those wonderful colours. Look at that. So I don't know if you actually answered my question, Lucy. I'll have to go back through the chat later. But yes, have you ever used the tea leaf cards, the round ones? All right. We're going to go in and try not to be eaten. There's one of the calves. There's another calf back there, feeding off mum. And there's another calf there. Just checking the chat. Good luck, Susan, says Paula. Thank you, Paula. Well, Welcome in too. Did I actually welcome you in before? I think I did. Hello, Fiona. Hello. Ooh. I just got caught on the gate. Oh, I hear helicopters. No. Why do we hear helicopters? Hey, Fiona. Hello, darling. Hello, darling. Hello. Hello. How are you? Are you good? Are you good? Now, I can't tell from the front if you're Clover or White Thunder. Well, I'm not seeing anything. I think that's Clover, the girl. Which means that one there must be... Yes, that is... No, it's not. Okay, so that one is Clover, the girl, which means this one has to be White Thunder, the boy. It is a huge property. Yes, indeed it is. Hello, Gray. Oh, cake mix. We're talking cake mix now. Naughty Panda is my fave. Where is he? There. Over there. I won't distract him too much though. I don't want to interact with them too much at this point because we want to at least get to the top of the hill so that everyone can enjoy the view. I'll just take you around to see this little... All right, it's okay. We're just looking. Just looking. You can hear helicopters going overhead. They are checking the power lines. 168 says M. Holy shamoly. In America, we call that a ranch. Okay, we don't have ranches in Australia. It's not really a word we use over here. Wanda, is Wanda here? This is my first time visiting and I absolutely love it here. No, it's not. Is it, Blonde? Blonde traveling gypsy? I feel like I've been chatting with you for ages. Maybe I've just been chatting with you on other people's lives. But welcome in. I'm really glad you've come in. Trophy says about 50 meters up. I was on the phone and I couldn't hear. Yeah, it sounds like it's very low. We're talking about the helicopter, which is over there somewhere. And they're pretty good, like this time of year in autumn, they're running around in helicopters and they're checking the power lines. They'll come into your property with trucks and cherry picker trucks and chainsaws, and they'll prune back all the trees so that there's a 7-meter clearance around the power lines. I still have 16 at the moment, which is a little bit of a problem because I was expecting to move 3 of them onto another property not too far from here, and I'm a bit concerned because I don't have enough hay, and so 187 bales of hay is not enough to feed 13 cows through winter, let alone 16. Take in that view. And the driveway is so soft now after all the rain. that I'm not entirely sure that they'd be able to get a truck in here to take the other 3 cows. The 3 that were moving on were the 3 black ones, which is Panda down there, Coco and Blaze. Where Blaze is there. It's a fantastic view, isn't it, Brad? I'm glad you're enjoying it. So there they are. That's not everyone. There's another one there. Oh, it would make a lovely painting, yes. Especially with the autumn colours. And like if you're looking at it from further up, like up there more, you know, you can see more of the mountains in the background. So you get the cows in the field and the autumn colour in the mountains. Larry, welcome in, Larry. It's so good to see you. Could I put one in the deep freeze? I probably don't have enough room. And also, it would be a great painting, Emily. We get venison on the property. And that's right. See, they don't like the topic that we're talking about now. What was I saying? Venison. Yeah. So venison, of course, when you have your own bush, is free to hunt at any time. I'll just let them pass me. And of course it's free. The only thing it costs you is time and, you know, a few cents for a bullet type of thing. Hey, Dot. Whereas a cow, like Blaze here or Panda, well, I can get money, goods or services for them. No, you don't. No. He didn't like me saying that. So Panda is basically a swap with the guy who did the hay. So he's going to take Panda and Blaze and Coco, and he's going to put a bull over them so he can breed from them. Whereas you can't do that with venison. You can't like shoot a deer and then sell it for meat. You're just not allowed to do that here. Hey, Domino. Hello, darling. So I'd rather fill my, you know, the meat that I eat. If I eat venison, well, it's leaner. It's got no chemicals in it. The animal lived a happier life than many farmed animals do, especially when they're like feedlot animals. So I feel more comfortable eating venison than I do with eating bought beef, which has lots of chemicals and you don't know how the animals were treated while they were alive. So yeah, I eat, my red meat is venison, and then that means that when I do need to move a cow on for money or something like that, I can move it on to a farm where I know it's going to be loved and treated well, and I get something out of it. Either I get cold hard cash, or I get someone with a tractor or something to do some work. In Kentucky, you can only do it during deer season. Yeah, and we do have seasons here as well, but you're allowed to hunt on your own land at any time. Amanda says, my husband can cut up a deer and my daughter can cut up a cow. That's an awesome skill to have, Amanda. Mbug says, but where I'm from in Maine, hunt only during the hunting season. Oh, really, Trophy? There's new laws coming in soon, Susan, that will allow butchers to process it for you under their license. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, that's very good to know. Thank you for that. I think it is a good skill to know how to correctly butcher up an animal. We have a grinder too. Yes, so do I. I think it's a very handy thing to have. And I think if you've got any designs on, trying to live a better quality of life, I think they're all skills that are good to know. Food is becoming more and more expensive, but not only is it becoming more expensive, it's I guess it's becoming more, what's the word I'm after? More tainted? Yeah, more tainted. Even animals these days, like cows, you've got A1 and A2 grade cows, so your farm animals themselves are becoming genetically modified. And then, of course, they're given so many, especially feedlot cows, they're given so many chemicals and supplements and overfed in certain areas of their diet, to sort of produce larger, fatter animals. So what the animals are eating isn't necessarily wholesome for themselves. And then, of course, they're butchered and it's sold in the supermarket, and then we eat it. And it's expensive to eat it, It's not cheap. If you're a meat eater, even if you're not a meat eater, food in general, be it fruit, vegetables, meat, nuts, cheese, milk, whatever, everything's becoming more and more expensive. And it's not like we're getting a better quality of food for the price that we're paying. We're getting smaller quantities, poorer quality, and we're paying more for it. Hey, Tuba Chat. Hello, my friend. Welcome in. We're just talking about the quality of food today. How are you, Kevin? I hope you're well. It is lovely to have you here. It is a lovely Tuesday morning here in Victoria, Australia, in the high country. We've just been talking to the cows. The cows are up there now. Luckily, well, no one tried to eat me. Panda did try to push me around a little bit. What's up, Tuba Chat, says M. Oh, thank you very much for that. Thank you for sharing it. I do appreciate that very much. Now, Blonde Traveling Gypsy says, when I was growing up, my dad taught me how to do all that. Yeah, I think it's a good skill. And look, I hate to say it, but we just don't know the way the world's heading. I think the more skills we can get, the better off we are. Here's a wombat hole for those of you who haven't seen one before. Blonde Traveling Gypsy, I'm looking at you specifically there. Look how deep that is. And that's a small wombat hole. And like if you're looking at it from this way, you wouldn't really even see the hole. All right, let's keep walking. Could I leave a camera? What, for a wombat? Oh, can you hear the kookaburras? They're off in the bush there somewhere. You want me to try and get some night footage of a wombat, do you, Em? It is coming to the season now that I'm going to start seeing more wombats. So I'll probably will be able to get, like last year I did quite a few shorts. I've got like 3 or 4 shorts from last year showing a wombat and what they look like. They're almost completely round and solid muscle. Look at that sky, isn't it pretty? I have to go watch them, Em, says Em. Yeah, no, do. What was it called? I think one of them was called Mr. Wombat Returns. They've all got wombat in the title, I'm sure. But as I see more, I will certainly film them. My next video I've got coming out, which hopefully will be this coming weekend, if I can pull my finger out and get it done in time. I've got quite a bit of, well, I say quite a bit. I've got like about a minute of kangaroo footage in it. I've got a shot of 2 kangaroos hopping past, and then I've got another one of a kangaroo eating while its Joey is standing beside it watching me. So we've got some kangaroo footage and a blue tongue lizard coming up in the next video, remembering summer, because I just was too busy at the time and just mentally not in a good place in summer. Summer was very overwhelming. I found it very overwhelming anyway. Oh, look, we've got 31 in the house and 38 likes. Thank you very much for the 38 likes. If you haven't given it a thumbs up yet, please consider it. It would help me very much. Helps push it out to people. And of course, if you're not enjoying the video, then don't. That's fine. I completely get it. Not every person and not every live is for everyone. So if you're not enjoying it, don't feel you have to. But if you are and you've just forgotten, by all means, give it a thumbs up. I would love that. Oh, alrighty. Here we are at the gate. Let us go look. Oh, we got 39 now. Woo! JB, it's a scientist created cow. Yes, hypoallergenic milk. Oh, were you asking about the A1 and the A2? Yeah. Animals ain't animals anymore. Oh, you're going, Michelle. Oh, that's a shame, but I completely get it. Sweet dreams, everyone. I want to take a shower. It's been a long day and a night for work. Stay safe and wonderful out there. Thank you, Michelle. I hope you have a lovely, lovely evening and sleep well. And while you're doing all of that, we're going to wander down the drive. What? Says Joy. Yeah. Yes. I mean, these days, a lot of food, like seeds that you buy and punnets of seedlings that you buy, a lot of the food has been genetically modified. And of course, animals that we eat, that many people eat, that they buy at the supermarkets, the chicken and the beef and the pork and all that sort of thing. Well, that's all been, is becoming more and more genetically modified as well. Thank you, Em. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, if you know a farmer or a good source to get, you know, half decent food, I think that's a good thing. I know it's not possible for everyone, especially people living in cities. I'm trying very hard not to slip here because the driveway is still wet. It's been, what day is it today? It's been probably about 4 or 5 days since we had rain, but the driveway is still very slippery. Oh, the hair sheep. Yeah, yeah. Very disturbing. It's a disturbing name for sheep. Hair sheep. All right, if I'm going to slip anywhere, it's going to be here. Oh, very slow footsteps here. Maybe I should do it sideways. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm almost at the bottom of this little incline. And we'll head down. We'll look at the stockyard. We'll check out this bonfire pile and hopefully find that it's getting dry. We had a lot of rain. We had 55 mil, I think it was, on one day, and then the following day we had 6.8 mil. Can you hear the beautiful bird? Walking down the drive, walking down the drive. I'm just looking at the chat here. Brad is back in. People are saying hello to Brad. First I've heard of that milk. Oh, really? Look, maybe it's an Australian thing, but I know over here you can buy, and I think it has to be, I could be wrong about this, I could be telling you a furphy, but I think they have to tell you whether you're buying A1 or A2 milk. And one is genetically modified and 2 isn't. Or is it the other way around? And even when you buy cows themselves, you know, like when people buy and sell cows, they tend to state whether the cows they are selling are A1 or A2. It's like chickens, you know. People buy chickens, and these days, over the course of time, things they've been bred up and genetically modified in such a way that they lay all the time, all year round. So the poor buggers never get a break. They just every day, like a machine, lay an egg, lay another egg. Oh, you had a little bit of rain the other day. Look at that lovely tree. That's another maple. Different colours to the one up at the house. I can hear a kookaburra laughing at me. Amanda says from Greece too, the song Hear from Brad. Joy says Dr. Ken Berry raises hair sheep. He always cautions about junk type foods. Yeah. Junk foods kill people. I believe that 100%. Yeah. Saturated fats. And visceral fat. It helps cause visceral fat, doesn't it? I also think dehydration kills a lot more people than we realise. Having a suitable intake of water every day. Look, the rain washed the drive out again. I try to drink a minimum of 1.5 to 1.7 litres of water a day. I have to be very regimented with it because I'm not overly fond of drinking water. And I have read, and I don't know if it's true or not, that like flavoured waters don't flush your system out as well as just plain, clear, everyday, unadulterated water does. Now, I haven't, like I said, I haven't researched that. I don't know if that's true, but I have read that, and I've heard it from many different sources. So I drink my water. I have a little alarm set, except for when I'm doing my lives. And every 2 hours it goes off, and I'll have a glass of water. And I'll keep going until I have drunk my 1.5 to 1.7 litres. And I find I do feel better when I do drink water. I think my body is more lubricated, I suppose. My joints feel better. Your organs certainly would work better because, you know, they've got a good hydration to them. And I hate to say it, but as an older woman, I am at that stage of life where hot flushes are supposed to be a thing. Now, I do get the occasional one. Oh, look at that tree, look at that tree. But I have found, now, like, there's the odd occasion where I don't drink my regular 1.5 to 1.7 litres. Now, let's stand under here in the shade and discuss this briefly. Sorry, it'll only be brief. You know, like if I'm going out for the day, I don't tend to drink as much because, of course, when I do, I'm constantly on the hunt for public toilets, which I don't want to have to do when I'm out and about. So I don't drink as much when I go out. And depending on what I'm doing and where in the farm, sometimes I might finish all my water and I don't want to go back to the house to get another bottle. And so I don't have as much water intake. Now, I find that on those days, if I'm going to have a hot flush, like I might only have like one hot flush a fortnight and it'll last like 15 seconds. Now, I know a lot of women get it a lot worse, but I find that the more water I drink, if I have my 1.7 litres of water, I do not get a hot flush. I do not get a hot flush at all. So if I'm drinking plenty of water, no hot flushes. And, you know, I might go 2 or 3 weeks drinking lots and lots of water and not have any hot flush. And then I'll have a day where, for whatever reason, I'm a bit slack and I don't get to drink as much. And that's the day I'm going to have a hot flush in the afternoon because, you know, I've gone through a day. And yeah, you drink water at work. Yeah, drinking tea I think is fine. But yeah, so I have this theory that as women, if we are better hydrated, we're less likely to have hot flushes. Now, you can all shoot me down in flames. That's just my theory. But it seems to work for me, at least. So not only does my body feel better and I can do more work and my joints feel better and stuff like that, I find that, yeah, I don't get the hot flushes if I'm drinking adequate amounts of water. So I don't know if it's really a thing. Maybe I just imagine it. All right. There's the pile. Let me catch up with the chat. Hey, Nicholas Grollo, welcome in, my friend. Good morning, Susan. How is your morning thus far? It's been good, Nicholas. We started the live looking at some gardening, some pruning that I did yesterday. And we had a look at the 2 water tanks behind the shed. I had a busy day in the garden yesterday. Amanda says I don't get them a lot, but every once in a while, wham. No, I didn't either, Em, at 51, but I'm a lot older than you are, love. Oh, Joy says I use a Berkeley, so my water tastes good and healthy. Yeah, they're quite good. Em says my mum is always drinking water. Food poisoning dehydrates you. Yeah, well, yes, it would do, because you're spending so much time sitting on the loo usually when you've got food poisoning. My mum got food poisoning, says Em, and she went to the hospital and she came home later that day. Yeah, you have to pace yourself with the water, that's for sure. Indiana Funny Farm says it's all junk. Yes, it's expensive junk too, isn't it? A lot of the foods we buy. I drink water at work, says Em. Hey there, says Nicholas. But at night I am drinking green tea, green iced tea. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh no, Amanda says in Oklahoma, the humidity, you could throw me at a wall and I would stick. Yeah. They say in your 50s. Yes, indeed. All right, so here we have the pile. Weather permitting, and I'm going to schedule the live when I finish this live. We are going to be burning all of this on Thursday, as long as it's not too windy. Now down here we are a little bit protected because you've got this bit of a hill here behind us. But what we don't want is for this to get away from us and then go, because flames tend to go uphill. So if it's going to go up that way. So if it is windy, you want the wind to be going that way, down the hill, because the flames are going to want to go that way, but the wind will be pushing it that way. That's how it all works. Flames and fire like to go uphill. But look at the size of it. It's quite a big pile. A lot of it is garden prunings, but then we've got these big wheels of white gum here, which make terrible firewood for burning in the house. Ooh, smoked pork butt. Sounds good. But yeah, so Thursday, the plan is to light this thing up and we can sit here and watch it for 2 or 3 hours. And then in the evening, when the sun is setting and the moon and the stars are out, we're going to come back down here, maybe. And because I always stay with the fire till I think it's safe. And then what I will tend to do is I will come back and check it again about 8 p.m. And depending on how it's looking at 8 p.m, I may or may not come back out at, say, about 10:30, just before I go to bed, to know, you know, I sleep better knowing that it's looking safe. So the plan is we'll light this big bugger on Thursday. We'll do a 2-3 hour live, and then we'll probably have a 2 or 3 hour break, and then I'll come back down in the evening and bring an armchair and toast some marshmallows, and we'll just sit and look at the stars and the moon and watch it burn, baby. Burn, baby, burn. So that's my plan. 1 to 2 lives on Thursday, weather permitting. I can hear motorbikes. Sounds wonderful. Yes. I do think after all the rain that we had, because you could see that the driveway, even though it's been a few days, Amanda, the driveway is still quite wet. And I think underneath here, it's going to be quite wet underneath still. So hopefully that will help it. Also, if you are worried, you know, like you've got the whole thing about wind direction and fire going uphill is a thing. So it can be a bit windy and still quite safe to light it. You've just got to be mindful of the direction of the wind and what the wind would be blowing the ash and the flames toward if it got out of hand. I will have water down here, of course. But yeah. Should be fun. I'll be glad to get rid of it. Everyone's saying, do it, go live. When do you burn it, Susan? When I finish this live today, Em, I will schedule the next live, which will be Thursday. My Thursday, your Wednesday. So it'll be your Wednesday, Em, but I haven't scheduled it yet. I'll do it when this live finishes. I probably won't schedule the second part, like the evening part, until after the first part is done, because I don't know. I mean, look, the weather may not be conducive on the day, so I don't want to be sort of rescheduling 2 lives. So I'll schedule the normal Thursday time slot, and if that all goes well, I will schedule the evening one. Look at that. Isn't it lovely? It's a lovely spot. I can hear frogs. I can hear birds. I can hear the wind in the trees. There's a magpie warbling. Frogs. Yeah, this is normally a very wet district. It's one of the wettest parts of Victoria, normally. The last few years, probably the last 3 years, it hasn't been the case with the drought. Are roos good to eat? Asked Larry. That's debatable. Kangaroo meat is quite popular. I am not the biggest fan of it, Larry. And again, you know, like all things, I think it depends a bit on the way you cook something. So I can hear some frogs now, Em. Come up here a bit further, you might hear them. Kangaroo meat is, to my palate, quite a gamey meat. Now, venison is also a very gamey meat, and I like venison, but I'm not as fond of kangaroo meat. And also, venison has the same, to me, the same mouth feel as eating beef. Kangaroo doesn't. Kangaroo meat, or at least the kangaroo meat that I have eaten, is, how would you describe it? Almost silky. It's almost got like a silky quality to it. And I don't like that texture. And so the texture, the difference in texture with the gaminess just doesn't really do it for me. Whereas venison, you know, I'm quite happy to eat venison. And I've probably cooked and eaten a lot more venison in my life than I have kangaroo. But No, I don't. I'm not a huge fan, but many people absolutely love it, Larry. You know, everyone has different taste buds. Everyone likes different things. Gee, a few branches have come down. Some big trees I'm walking under. Oh, did Chef Civvy do some kangaroo? What did you think of the kangaroo, Chef Civvy? M-Bug says I have to clean the kitchen. Let me just check and see what everyone's saying. Oh, thank you, Ace. Ace is putting up some of my Buy Me a Coffee articles. And that's not because you need to buy me a coffee either, folks. I just love when people read them. And you can like give people a thumbs up or leave a comment on the things that you post on Buy Me a Coffee. So, you know, if you want to read one of my little articles or stories, you can go across and read it, and you don't have to donate. You don't have to donate, that's fine. I just like to know that people have read them and that they've enjoyed them, or I hope they enjoy them anyway. But thank you, Ace, for doing that. No, thank you, Australia. Lol dear is playing Fortnite. Larry says, I once heard a kangaroo called a T-Rex deer. Yeah, I've heard a few people call them that too. All right, Em, you go and clean your kitchen. Thank you so much for coming in, love. I really do appreciate that. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you haven't already, my love. I think you enjoyed being here, so I can ask that of you. What's Trophy saying? Everyone's going, yeah, Trophy. When you separate the legs at the knees, they are always riddled with worms. Yeah, I can well believe it too. And yes, I can imagine how that could put a few people off their food. I've read that book, Joy. I have read that book, The Secret Life of Water. It was a few years ago. If it's the same book I'm thinking of, it wasn't a big book, it was a little paperback, but it was quite interesting. Oh, I tell you, I'm warming up. I'm starting to regret that I wore a beanie. The kangaroo was great, says Chef Civvy. Red roux tastes more gamey. Yeah. Oh, Indiana Funny Farm, are you going? "43 thumbs up," says Nicholas. That's awesome. Hey, Mike, you're still here. Way to go, Susan, says Amanda. All right, let's get up here now. Walking, walking, walking. So I'm wearing this shirt, and under the shirt I've got, yes, been trying to make dinner, says Mike. What are you having for dinner, Mike? It's not kangaroo, is it? See, I've got this shirt on, but under the shirt I've got like another top. That's long sleeve, and then I'm wearing a beanie. Oh, biscuits and gravy. That sounds yummy. Now, your biscuits are more like we call scones. Not quite like a scone, but more like a scone. And then our biscuits are your cookies. So, same name, but for slightly different foods. So we call cookies biscuits, and we call biscuits scones. Something like that. Or scones. depending on where in the world you're from. Some people call them scones. I call them scones. Ah. Amanda says I'd be under-modified. Yeah. Oh, Connor Burke, yes. 2 of them would be lovely about now. So I can tell I didn't have my water this morning. If I had my water, I'd be doing this a lot better. But I'd also have to keep finding trees to sort of run and hide behind. And no one wants to see that, folks. Alrighty. We are there. We are there. See the silver birches are getting a bit of colour, which is good to see. Got some dark clouds moving in. There's no rain expected though, not till next week. Yeah, look, maybe, Connor. Oh, yeah, we do. We do, Nicholas. We do get yabbies. Yabbies are like little Australian freshwater crayfish. Little. They're little. And you get them in your dams and your water holes, on your farms, and you put a net out. You put a bit of meat in the net, in the cage. It's usually like a cage. And you put the cage underwater with meat in it. And the yabbies, hopefully, will crawl into the cage to get the meat, and then you eat the yabbies. They taste lovely. It's been a while. Been a while since I've had yabby. Oh wow. Do you remember these from last week? Look at them all. It's the special mushrooms. Don't they look fantastic? I did come down last week after the live and took a few photos. But I think I need to come down and take a few more. See, I'm casting a shadow over it. There we go. They look like saucers. Yeah, they do. I mean, they're big. Last week they were just like tiny. But they're almost like the size of a bread and butter plate. And if I stand here and get my shadow off, you can see them a bit better. Oh, Trophy says they would make Santa's reindeer able to fly. Yeah, certainly would, I reckon. See, there's a new one coming up. So, you know, like anything that grows, they start small and they get bigger and bigger. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to come down and get photos of that. My next story that I'm putting in the paper is actually, and I think I mentioned it too, I was so inspired by these mushrooms when I saw them last week on my live that when the live finished, I came down, I took some photos, And then I wrote a story all about mushrooms, basically. And some of the myths, legends, and fables, especially regarding these mushrooms in particular. Magic, yes, that's right, Ace. Yes, magic mushrooms. Oh, Larry says, everyone knows reindeer can't fly without yabbies. Yes, that's true. And what's our other mythical creature? A yowie. We have yowies out here. Are they trip out ones? Yeah, they certainly would be, Nicholas. Yabbies make Santa's reindeer fly. Oh, the mushrooms. Everyone's getting a bit confused, and that's okay. We're allowed to get confused here. We're all a big family. Lol, says Nicholas. Well, the special herb helped me there, yeah. Meritrap says, I'm cooking fried fish. That sounds yummy. I actually had fried fish for dinner last night. Yowies are real, says Amanda. Oh, yeah, no, Nicholas, they only grow in that one spot. They only grow there. They don't grow in the paddocks, thankfully. And if they did, I'd probably fence them off and try and find something to combat it. Yowie is a Bigfoot. Yes, that's right. In Australia, we have our version of Bigfoot, and in Australia, it is called a yowie. Larry has seen Bigfoot. Have you, Larry? That's awesome. If I lived over there where you guys were, I reckon I'd go out and hunt for Bigfoot. Not hunt. Just, put out trail cams and try and see one. But I think Bigfoot is real. Especially where you guys are over there, because there's so much wilderness that, the Wendigo, yeah. Where you guys are, there's so much land that's undiscovered and remote, especially sort of around Alaska too. And I believe there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Alaska and also in Appalachia. I know there's lots of other spots. I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Amanda says, there are backwoods here that are thick and mountains in the southeast that are rough country. Ah, yes. Perfect spot for them too. Oh, got something in my eye. Oh, yes. Yes, the Native Americans have a lot of stories about Bigfoot. My daughter and I, we've watched over the years a lot of documentaries on and channels that like hunt for Bigfoot. So we've sort of watched quite a lot. It's all very interesting. Ah, there we go. Look at that autumn colour. Larry says, I think I talked about it on our Bigfoot Supernatural Saturday. Oh. I'll go back and have a look at that. Look at that colour. Isn't it sensational? All right. Let us walk up here. Hang on to a tree while I get up on the veranda. Amanda says, lol, we're not plugging ourselves on Susan's live, Larry. Thank you, Amanda, but that's okay. That's fine. Look at that. What a pretty view. No, that's fine, Larry. Really, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm glad you told me, actually, because I'll go and look for it now. I'll watch it. The sky needs to be loved. It really does, doesn't it? A lot of dark clouds in amongst it. Gives it character. But that's what I love about living up here. It's always different. Every day the sky is different. And you can see you've got your mountains there in the distance. And sometimes, depending on where the clouds are, it can look like there's even more mountain ranges. And it looked like... see, there you go, Larry and Amanda. Kirsty put up the link to the live. So if anyone wants to have a look at Larry and Amanda's live from Saturday discussing Bigfoot, the link is now there for you. But yeah, depending on where the clouds are, sometimes it looks like there's like snow-topped mountains out there, which is really lovely. Still got a bit of autumn colour here on the grapevine. We'll be hanging that up in a week or two. Going to put a framework up here, which will run along the top. And so we'll pick this grape up once it's lost all its leaves. And instead of trailing down there, we'll have it growing along here, and then it can like hang down like a curtain. That's the plan anyway. But I'm letting it lose all its leaves first. Such a sensational colour though, isn't it? Look at that red. I love that red. Wow. All right, let's go and sit down. I think it's time to sit down. I know I certainly need to sit down. Oh, the golden syrup video. Yes. Yes, that was a good video, Nicholas. But Kirsty's done another one on ghee. And ghee is clarified butter. And it's not that easy to get in Australia. Clarified butter, especially in the rural areas. So glad to get that beanie off. Hang on, just give me a moment. Oh, sweating under the beanie. Not nice. Okay, that feels better. Okay, yes, clarified butter. Great for using with popcorn. We were talking about popcorn the other day too, Kirsty. For those of you that like that make your own popcorn, not like the microwave popcorn, but you know, you cook it on a saucepan. And my daughter, you know, she always loved like movie popcorn with the butter flavor. And I'd try melting butter and like pouring real butter on the popcorn, and it just turns the popcorn to mush, and it's not very nice. However, clarified butter, when you clarify it, which is what it is, what ghee is, clarified butter, you're removing a lot of the water from it. And so you can put ghee or clarified butter on your popcorn, and your popcorn doesn't turn to mush. And that's very important. So that way you get all that lovely butter flavor, but you don't get, your popcorn turning into mush, which is important. Amanda says, yes, my muscadine is going up the front of the house like that. Yeah. Yeah, they like to go up. Yes, that ghee. Kirsty is so talented. Yes, she is very talented. 46 says Ace. Oh, I do too. Thank you everyone for the 46 likes. It is much appreciated. Connor says there's popcorn called peanut butter. Is there? I wonder if it's available over here in Australia. I'll have to look for that. Hello, Brian. Hello, love. Welcome in. I'm sorry you've probably been here a while and I've only just spotted you, but thank you for being here. For sure, ghee is awesome on popcorn. Have you tried it on popcorn, Kirsty? Ah, lovely. Someone has put up the link for Kirsty's video on ghee. Brian says, howdy, folks. Old Hillbilly, who is Larry, says, honestly, Kirsty, your videos are great, so useful. Yeah, they are. They're awesome. I want to know, Kirsty, because my problem with doing kitchen videos is I can't work out how to do them and have both my hands free. So you need to write to me on Messenger and tell me what equipment you're using, or send me a photo of what you use, because I would love to be able to do a few videos like that where I've got the better camera angles and I can actually use both my hands in the kitchen to do something and people can see it, rather than having my phone on a tripod sort of off in the distance somewhere. So I always look at that, and that's one of the reasons why I sort of stopped trying to do like kitchen things and my kitchen basics series, because I couldn't work out how to film them on my own. It was just too difficult. So, but then you got to remember too, I'm not particularly tech savvy, so it might be quite an easy fix. I just don't know enough to do it. Indiana Funny Farms says, I only do popcorn in the pot. Yeah, microwave popcorn has so much chemicals in it. Yeah, and you can taste it too, can't you? I do have microwave popcorn here, but that's basically, you know, I suppose back in the day, if I was out doing stuff on the farm, that way my kids could sort of, you know, put on some popcorn and they'd be good. If I'm home, I'd always put it in the pot, you know, put some oil or some ghee and do my popcorn that way. And it's cheaper too. And you can make it in whatever size quantity you want. Yeah, says Amanda, throw the microwave ones away. The water and the milk protein, says Brian. Yeah, and I mean, I'm trying to cut back on chemicals. Like I've been trying to get rid of all the plastics in the kitchen, which is an incredibly slow and expensive, in some regards, enterprise, because like I'm changing out all my plastic storage containers for glass. And then the other day when I made that, you know, that raspberry coconut slice I did, and I chopped it up into its little squares, and then I went for the cake box. Of course, the cake box is plastic, isn't it? Because it's Tupperware. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I went hunting through the cupboards, and I had an old Cadbury chocolate tin, which was in good condition, and the lid fits nicely. So I put it in that instead. So, you know, every day I come across something and I think, oh yeah, okay, I've got to change this, I've got to change that. I got rid of all the plastic drinking glasses and I've changed them for, and by glasses, so they're like milkshake size tumblers, a tumbler. And I had lots of plastic ones of them, so I got rid of them and got aluminium ones. And it keeps the milk so much colder too. But yeah, just trying to sort of get rid of chemicals. I think we've just got so used to having chemicals and these man-made products like silicone and rubber and plastic in our lives. We don't bat an eyelid at it now, but I don't think long term it's really all that good for us. Nicholas says $50 Australian for a litre jar of ghee. A litre. Yeah, that's a fair bit. That's a fair bit of money. But I mean, it's so easy to make though, Nicholas, too. I mean, if you've got the time and the inclination to do it, to make ghee is quite a simple process. Now, let me see. Indiana Funny Farm says, I would if the hubby would let me. I just don't use the thing. Ah, okay. You do not use it. Our microwave stores are Ziploc bags. Uh-huh. I love my air popper, says Amanda. Brian says, we did 5 years ago, no microwave here. I only got a microwave oven recently. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. But it doesn't really get used all that much, to be honest. What do I use it for? Not a lot, I can tell you. Turning it into a cupboard. Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea. GoPro on her forehead, I'm guessing. Yeah, I need to save up and get a GoPro. That would be a handy thing to have. Tim Mitchell says we have 4 separate cameras. I only have my phone. Someone gifted me, for my voiceovers, someone gifted me this incredible microphone on a stand. But I can't work out how to use it. Like when I plug it into my computer to do voiceovers, my computer doesn't recognize that I've plugged in a separate microphone. So I haven't been able to use it yet, but I'll work it out. It's an incredible piece of equipment. It would be more incredible if I could actually use it. Hang on, let me try and read the chat. Plastic can be made from cellulose, but it's petroleum based. Yeah. Yes, no Tupperware, says Amanda. But they say nanoplastics in the air. I know. Well, at least out here, I'd like to think that in a rural area like this, there wouldn't be as much. I think, as you say, it's everywhere. And I mean, it's in your clothes too, isn't it? Your skin is the biggest organ of your body. And of course, you can cut out plastics in your kitchen and get rid of Tupperware and silicone baking trays and cupcake holders and change out your toothbrushes so they're not plastic and stuff like that. And that is good. It's good to do. But if you're still wearing fibers on your body that aren't like natural fibers like cotton and wool, you're still absorbing some plastics. But some people don't care, and then some people are willing to go so far in the process, they're willing to do certain things. And for a lot of people, changing out clothing, because to buy natural fiber clothing, I mean, you think trying to change over all your products in the kitchen is hard, try changing your entire wardrobe. Wool and cotton products tend to be very expensive. And so a lot of people just don't gravitate towards them, especially when you can go to a big website like Shein and buy like 20 items of clothing and you've bought them all for under $30, including postage, And so if you're on a tight budget, you think, well, do I get what's good for me or do I get what's cheap? And cheap does win out for a lot of people a lot of the time. Don't put gravy on cookies. No, you don't put gravy on cookies. Hey, Louie, welcome in. Welcome in. It's good to see you. I tell you, we're really covering some interesting topics today, aren't we? Hey, Angela, welcome in. Uh-oh. There we go. I'm back. Sorry, I hit the wrong thing. Welcome in, Angela. Joy Joseph is here also. I'll try and move this up without doing anything weird to the live. Oh, yeah. Apocalypse imminent is what AI stands for. I like that, actually. I mean, I don't like the idea of an apocalypse being imminent. I don't really like the idea of AI much at all, but I do think that is what you say. That's what AI stands for, is apocalypse imminent. Yeah, sure. Samir, hello, my friend. Good to see you. No plastic chopping boards either. No, I got rid of my plastic chopping boards a few weeks ago when I went into Mansfield. I went into Kmart and they had some acacia, which is wattle, chopping boards, and they're a decent size without being too big. And they were like $7 each, so I got two of them. And when I got home, I threw out my 3 plastic ones. So yeah, I think every sort of, if you can afford to replace one thing a month or one thing a week or whatever, every time you go shopping, even like I had a tiny little plastic spoon in my salt box, and I got a little wooden one instead. You know, it's a gradual thing. You just do it gradually. How is the weather in your city? It's not too bad today, Samir. It's autumn here, and it's probably about, so yeah, Live's been going 2 hours, so 9:30, 10:30. It's probably about 11:30 in the morning, so we're still in the morning, and it's nice. It's cool if you're in the shade, not uncomfortably cool, but it's beautiful and warm in the sun, so it's very pleasant, very pleasant. How are you, Joy? Are you well? And how are you, Samir? Are you doing any more? Samir does these lives sometimes where he goes to the fish markets. And they can be quite interesting, especially if you're into seafood. Matt is here. Oh, thank you. Matt is manifesting a tractor for me. That is lovely. Thank you very much. Keep manifesting that tractor. I mean, we managed to manifest me a fridge, didn't we? And we've got the car fixed. Still got to manifest the solar system. In fact, I might get onto the guy after the live finishes and see how that's going on. They can keep it. The last time I went appliance shopping, most of the appliances were smart with Wi-Fi hooked up. I know it's very hard to, I would like to get a new TV one day. The TV I have in the house is a plasma. It's quite an old one. Great picture quality, but it uses a lot of power, and also it generates a lot of heat, and in summer I don't want to be generating a lot of heat. But all the LCD ones, they all seem to be Wi-Fi, and I don't want Wi-Fi. I don't want a Wi-Fi connected fridge. I don't want a Wi-Fi connected dishwasher or washing machine. And like they show these adverts sometimes, you see them where you see the couple with their children, they sort of da 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 da, and they've walked out the front door of their home and they shut the door behind them. It's like, oh gosh, I forgot to turn on the dishwasher. But wait, and she gets out her phone while she's still standing on her front porch, like, and the door's behind her, and she sits there and goes dip 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 dip. And then they cut to the scene of the dishwasher starting. And I think, really? You know, if you forget your dishwasher, you've forgotten your dishwasher. Everyone keep thinking a tractor for Susan. Yes, yes. That would be such a great thing to have a tractor here, wouldn't it? Well, let us go out the front and have a look at the view. Not the view of me. You are looking at me at the moment. Love plasma TVs. Yeah, look, great quality. I can't complain about the quality at all. But especially since, you know, theoretically I'm still supposed to be getting a solar system sometime. And let me turn you around so you can see the view. There you are, Samir. If you're still here, check out that view. Just walk down the veranda here a little way, dodging all the pot plants. We had snow the other day, so I had to move all the pot plants off the edge of the veranda. I hope we get more snow, but the way it's looking, I don't know if we will. Ta-da! It is a beautiful view. Yes, I am very blessed. You know, living on a homestead isn't without its troubles, but I am very blessed. A big red case tractor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so almost any tractor. A team of mules. Oh, no. Amanda, no, I'd have to feed them. And I'd need more hay. Indiana Funny Farm says, I have a plain gas one getting ready to install. Oh, nice. Our dishwasher is hands. Yeah. Yep. They don't make plasmas anymore. Okay. Stove, that is. Yes, I figured it was a stove. But thank you for clarifying. I mean, you can get gas fridges still. Over here you can, like there's some of the properties around here that are on solar have gas fridges. All right, Matt Lawton says, everyone, see you all soon. I'm going to bed. Good night, Matt. Thank you so much for being here. Please consider giving it a thumbs up if you haven't already. That would be lovely. I'm sure you have, though. I hope you really sleep well, Matt, and have a lovely day tomorrow. We've got 48 likes now, which is nice. Samir is waving to people. Thank you, Samir. Mule's a good company. I don't have a lot of experience with mules, I'll be honest, so I'll have to take your word for that. Good night, Matt. Sleep well, my love. Indiana Funny Farm says Amish stores have gas fridges. Okay, that's good to know. Night, Matt, says everyone. Everyone's saying good night to Matt. Brian says RV fridges. Most use 3-way power, 12-volt propane, and regular house power. Tim Mitchell saying good night to Matt. Mules are very intelligent. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Amanda says we used to have a gas dryer back in the day. Really? Maybe some donkeys, says Nicholas. Our donkey was hilarious, says Amanda. I don't think I've even met a donkey or a mule. I don't know anyone around here who has any. So yes, to say my the donkey's name was Donkey. Yeah, I have absolutely no experience with them. Donkeys are the best guard dog. Yes, I've heard that actually. That is true. And geese. Geese, my God, I tell you, when I was younger, much younger, and what am I hearing? No, it's probably best to not know what I'm hearing. When I was much younger, my grandparents had geese. Geese are vicious. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed they are. All right, let me just put this here, put that there. I'll turn the camera around so you can see me, hopefully. There we go. Yeah, my grandparents had geese. My God, I was terrified of these things. I mean, you've got to realize I was like 5 or 6, maybe 7 at the most. And we'd go to visit my grandparents, and they had like the black Suffolk sheep, same breed of sheep that I have here. And these geese, and they would run at the car. Like as soon as you pulled into the driveway, these geese would run at the car, and they'd like stand in a big line in front. And so you couldn't, quite often, you couldn't even get up the driveway in the car. And I can remember, Dad on the horn of the car trying to scare these geese, and they did not give a damn. They'd stand there and they'd have their wings up and they'd be honking and squawking and carrying on. And of course, in those days, mobile phones were certainly not a thing. And sometimes you'd be stuck there for like 15, 20 minutes waiting for these geese to either just get sick of being there, or the people, my grandparents, up at the house, they'd hear the noise because, I mean, the geese aren't exactly quiet either. And in the end, they'd have to come down with brooms and things and like try and shoo the geese off so that we could continue to move up the driveway in the car. And like, heaven forbid, if you actually tried to go outside and play, it was like, oh my God, these geese. I like the look of geese. I love the idea of geese, but I'm still a little bit scared of them. I do believe that some geese are nicer than others. So maybe I need to look into that. Maybe there's some nice goose, nice geese. You know what I'm trying to say. If anyone here in the chat has geese or can recommend a brand of goose, a breed of goose that is, well, a little bit friendlier, I'm open to discussion. My daughter had 4 older brothers to put the fear of Jesus into her dates. Yes, well, you see, that works too. Geese or brothers. Indiana Funny Farm says, I have PTSD from my great uncle's geese from childhood. Yeah, I can completely understand that. Larry says our donkey scares our daughter's prom date. Geese are hateful, says Amanda. Amanda says donkey and his buddy, a goat named Daisy, used to graze in my enchanted forest. Wow. That's what Nicholas said too, was wow, that sounds awesome. Alpacas. Yes, I had an alpaca. We want to get some soon. What, you want to get geese or you want to get alpacas, Brian? Or donkeys even. I can see you want to get something. Actually, turkeys also make good guard animals. You've been goosed before, have you, Ace? You poor love. I don't envy you that. Roasted goose is the best kind. That is true. That is true. I heard swans are wild. Yeah, I've heard that too. I have heard that. But turkeys, especially the big male turkeys, you know, like I'd have one just for decoration wandering around the farm. But yeah, turkeys are weird animals. Weird animals. My friends have had turkeys. She couldn't get rid of them fast enough. They look like angels. What do turkeys? Oh, Old Hillbilly says we just saw a farm with camels and zebras. Nice. Goose eggs are large and they're yummy. I don't think I've ever had a goose egg, Nicholas. I wouldn't mind trying one though. Duck, duck, goose, says Amanda. Brian says, we have 30 or more turkeys that come on our property. We don't need to raise them. Okay. Do you eat them, Brian? Oh, an emu. There's a property down the road from here that has emus wandering around. So whenever you drive into Mansfield and you drive past this property and you sort of look over, and quite often there's just like emus wandering around everywhere. Emu eggs are amazing, aren't they though? They're so big. They're so big. Indiana Funny Farm says those eggs are massive and taste like Swiss cheese omelette. Oh, yummy. No, we feed them, but if needed, pew, pew. Yeah. You almost ran over an emu. Do you have emus over there? I thought they were native to Australia. Huh. There you go. I've learned something. You don't mean an ostrich. I once saw an emu running across. Oh, an emu farm. Yeah. Yes, it's a Mansfield Zoo. I must take you all to Mansfield Zoo. That would be a good live to do. And there's white lions and there's meerkats and there's lots of different types of deer, sorry. Although I do think there are goats as well. And they have camels and, yeah, the white lions. What else do they have? They've got monkeys now too. It's not a huge, city zoo. It's more like a a reserve of sorts. But yeah. Amanda says, no, it was loose. It ran out like an idiot and ran back and forth. Yeah, no, they do that. That's exactly what deer do as well. And kangaroo, my God, kangaroo. Kangaroo will stand on the side of the road and watch a car approach. And they'll watch it and they'll watch it. And they'll wait till you're right level with it in your car and then they'll jump out. I've heard of kangaroos jumping through people's sunroofs. They've gone through windscreens. They do all sorts. Kangaroos are just mad. They really are. They're quite mad. There's a smaller version. It's called a wallaby. Now, kangaroos tend to go around in groups. And they're not the most intelligent. A wallaby it looks very much like a kangaroo. They're smaller and they're darker and they're fatter and their fur is more fluffy. And I must say they're far more intelligent, but they're solitary animals. I've never seen more than one wallaby at a time. They're just always on their own and clearly happy to be so. But wallabies are far more intellectual, let's say, than a kangaroo is. Amanda says, Larry, you lie. What's Larry lying about? Squirrels? Tim says, oh, it's still open. Well, the zoo, yeah, no, it is. It's still open. And now you can camp there in the summer. You're allowed to camp at the Mansfield Zoo overnight. And that would be interesting, I suppose. You could hear all the animals going to bed, making their nighttime sounds. Tim says apparently emus have the same problem as chickens with roads. Oh, they do. And kangaroos, yeah, they're all dumb. And squirrels, says Indiana Funny Farm. I like squirrels. I miss squirrels. Amanda says it was funny. I was pregnant and it sent me into hysterics. Larry, who's old hillbilly and Amanda's better half. Amanda's better half? No, sorry, Amanda. You know what I mean. Larry and Amanda are married anyway. A friend and I saw a kangaroo in the middle of the road one night in West Texas. What? Must have escaped from somewhere. Brian said, oh no. And Brian says, in Texas. And Amanda says, Larry, you lie. I'm so sorry, Amanda. I didn't mean to say that Larry was your better half. And I'm sure Larry would agree. Nicholas says, I haven't been there in years. Brian said, I would love to camp on your land, Susan, and help you out. Hit me up. High Country Homestead has a Facebook page. But thank you. Larry says, I give you guys name and you can ask him. I swear on the way to the rig we saw a kangaroo. Well, look, you may have done. Maybe it escaped from somewhere. I mean, it's possible. It is possible. Thousands of roos in Texas, private ranches and as exotic pets. Yeah, I can believe that. You see, over here we don't really, we don't really do that sort of thing. People aren't allowed to have exotic pets. Certainly not like that. Remember Looney Tunes, the kangaroo whopping Sylvester Stallone. Oh my God. I do remember that. So we're having a last look at the view, folks. That's crazy, Tim. So my friends, I'm going to close this live out in like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. So we're having a last look at the view, and that gives you all time to, if there's anyone that you want to say anything to or connect with before the live ends. Then now is your time. Yes, it wasn't actually Sylvester Stallone, was it? Sylvester the cat. So beautiful there, Susan. It really is, Brian. It's such a lovely spot. Was fun. Or well, it was so wonderful to have you here, Indiana Funny Farm. I hope we'll see you again. Oh, let me turn you around so I can see you all. There we go. All right. Yes, it would be lovely to have you come back. It's been nice chatting with you. Maybe his name was Stallone also. Well, yes, it's possible. A baby kangaroo. Yes, I've got a baby kangaroo in my video, which I'm hoping to get on the weekend. I'll buy a baby. It's not like little itty bitty, but it's it's a reasonable size, but it's a baby. Connor Burke says, "What's up, Brian?" Brian says, "Hi, Connor." I'll just catch up with everyone. The cat was called Stallone. Ace has put my link up to Buy Me a Coffee, where I post my articles and my stories into Buy Me a Coffee. So if ever you want to read one of them, you can just go across there. It's completely free. I mean, there is a donation part attached to it if people want to donate, but don't feel that you have to by any means. I'm just happy when people go in and read it and go, yeah, I really like that. Thank you. And it's very encouraging as someone that wants to, I want to improve my writing. I want to be better at it. So when I get good feedback, it's really encouraging, and I know that I'm not wasting my time. But yeah. So thank you, Ace, for putting the link up. Let me just keep checking in here. Larry says, goodbye, guys. I need to have a shower. All right, Larry, you take care. Thank you for being here. My friends, first of all, I must thank Kirsty and I must thank Ace, because they come into every live I do and they stay from beginning to end, and they're busy putting up everyone's links and my links and hopefully their own links as well. Fantastic people, fantastic channels. If you haven't checked them out yet, please do. That would be wonderful. And to the rest of you, well, look, I appreciate it so much that you come in and take the time to wander around the farm with me. It's so wonderful to be able to wander around and chat with friends. You know, doing anything with friends is more fun. Yes, Brian, that's right. It's a great community. It's so much better to do things with friends than on your own. And I must admit, you know, having you all there with me when I wander around, or on Saturdays when I'm pottering around in the kitchen, it's so much more fun. I love having you all there. So thank you, everyone who has been here, for taking the time, whether it's in this live or other lives, you know, for taking the time out of your day and your night to spend with me. Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it is your night time now. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening and a refreshing night's sleep, and that you all have a wonderful day tomorrow. Those of us in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere, yes, yeah, I didn't just say Southern before, did I? I meant Northern. But those of us here in the Southern Hemisphere, it is still Tuesday morning here in Australia. So I hope you have a great day, and a great evening when you get there, and a great day tomorrow. Everyone's saying goodbye to everyone, which is lovely. Everyone gets to say goodbye to everyone else. It's important that we have the time to do that. Oh, thank you, Brian. I appreciate you all very much. Very, very much. I really do. Um, so my next live is on my Thursday, which will be Wednesday for many of you in the Northern Hemisphere. We're going to be lighting up that big bonfire, weather permitting. That will be a 2 to 3 hour live, and then I'll probably do a 2 to 3 hour break, and then I'll probably go back down and sit there in the evening and do a nighttime one. So sit there around the coals of the fire, and we can look at the stars and look at the moon and toast marshmallows and stuff. So two lives potentially on Wednesday or Thursday, and then of course we have our Saturday one coming up, or Friday night. And I'm thinking that we might do the wood stove video or the wood stove live on Saturday. So I'm going to let the stove go cold, the wood stove, and we're going to clean it from top to bottom, empty all the ash pans and the wood box and all of that and scrape it down. So we're going to be cleaning the wood stove on the Saturday live. And then, yeah, I think that'll probably do us. And then on Sunday morning, hopefully I'll premiere a video. But we'll see. We'll see. The week is still young. Anything could happen yet. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Stay safe, be kind, and be beautiful. And I love you all. We'll see you all soon.